breaks his heart, makes love so. Oh, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Yeah, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Oh, darling, don't be scared of time changing us both. Death will leave our bodies, but it'll never touch my soul. If you are afraid, well, heavens don't let go. 'Cause darling, I will stay as we grow. Oh.
Alright, believe it or not, I just went off-road. I'm on a dirt road for 22 miles. I had to make a choice. Either do it or not. It's a national forest road. My GPS is taking me on. Snow, mud for 22 miles. And here I go.
Don't be scared of time changing us both.
Can't believe I'm doing this. Look where I'm at. I'm talking nothing.
Well, heavens don't let go. 'Cause darling, I will stay as we grow. Oh.
What do you think, Ace? We gotta get going, don't we? Oh, we gotta keep moving. What? This is what made incredible tiny homes. It's this mindset. This is massively, I don't even know the words for it. I think about the business and the chances I've taken to be in business. How hard it is. It seems like this road right here. Look at this. Oh, I wish I had a better camera. Look at that beautiful valley I'm about to go into. Look at that.
But it'll never touch my soul. If you are afraid, well, heavens don't let go. 'Cause darling, I will stay as we grow.
Well, down there's a little town. So I made it. Made it off of this mountain, and it was just quite a wonderful experience. All right, Ace, what do you think, buddy? Well, I'm here in Pahrump, Nevada, looking for land. I've got a friend here in front of me that watches our show. I met him about a week ago, and they wanted to show me some land out here. So this is Pahrump, and this whole valley's Pahrump, and the city's down there. We're probably only talking 2 miles down there, and this is different land than Tennessee for sure. But this is my first step into thinking about building a community out here. And I'm telling you, I get so many ideas on how I'd turn this into a absolute tropical oasis. Of course, my palm trees will grow here. Yep, it looks like a wasteland, but you would not believe what people do with this land and how it looks and the beauty of the mountains and stuff here. So that way is Vegas. So it would be east of here, east of Pahrump. And I'm doing some looking around. All the land is the same, pretty much. Not like Tennessee, we got all these mountains to contend with and variations in the slope. You know how the land, you really got to watch kind of land what you buy in the mountainous areas. But here being so flat, you kind of just make what you want. You create it, and either we stay around town, or do we go out further in the country, or do we do off-grid? So there you have it. I'm looking. with Scott. We're in Pahrump, and we've got some news for you guys. Let me do a 360 here a little bit. Look at the beautiful, now, Scott, that's Vegas that way, right?
Yeah,
on the other
right
side of
on
that
the other
mountain?
side of that mountain.
All right, that's Vegas. We're, what, about 70 miles out of Vegas, I think.
Probably not that far. Maybe
Yeah.
60.
Less than an hour here. There's Scott's truck. All right, we're sitting on about 116 acres right outside the city limits of Pahrump. And I'm gonna let Scott take the camera. Yep, I'll get to get these beautiful mountains in the background. And I bet everybody's been wondering, I'm still not in Tennessee. I can't even remember when I left Tennessee. And I started to come back home, but I came out here for two purposes: to go and show the world our Incrediboxes, which was accomplished at Quartzsite. And it was 9 days of just constant showing people, which was a great experience. And I met Scott back in Scottsdale and Fresno, tiny home shows. And he lives in Vegas and invited me to stay at his home while I could look around. Well, I delivered a house in Fresno, and I went up into the Sierras and some snow and come down through Nevada. It's been a trip, but it's been able to give me time to process and what we're going to do here. And I've actually came and looked at some land, and I've been talking to local people here in Pahrump, and I'm learning a lot about land. And Scott's got land up in Dyer and Nevada, and we're talking to a realtor up in Arizona. And then actually when I was at the Quartzsite show, there was a lot of people saying to me, Randy, you need to go up towards Kingman. You need to go up towards Payson. You need to go up there. There's an elevation of about 4,000 to 6,000 feet, and it's cooler there in the summer. And then I come here in Pahrump, and it's just beautiful day today. You guys, the sun is out. Yesterday I was here, it was windy, but it's just, to me, it's a beauty. Even though I'm from Tennessee, where it's green and it's just, you know, mountainous and rivers and lakes, this has a real beauty that I love. My dad is from the mountains back home, and he came out here years ago in the 80s and fell in love with the desert. And so both have their beauty that, you know, that you can enjoy. But what I'm going to do is Scott and I just went to the government board here where the codes and officials are, and we were able to inquire about restrictions and codes. If we're not inside the city limits of the incorporated city limits of Pahrump, it's pretty much wide open. We're ready to do whatever we need to do to start a community, which is like back home. What I want to do here is I want to do an off-grid community. I want 100% off-grid. Now, I'm probably looking at sinking some wells in here. Talking to the locals, there's an aquifer underneath here. This is almost like a huge volcanic pool, from what I've heard. I don't know if, you know, it was a local told me that. So the water comes off these mountains and settles in this big valley, and so there's a lot of underground water there. Scott was saying that there's a massive alfalfa fields here that were before, so they had to have water. Pahrump is coming on. They've got a Home Depot. They've got all the things you would want, conveniences of stores and medical and everything that you need. And it's only probably 6-8 miles at the base of these mountains, or right over from here. You can go to Death Valley. You can go to Vegas in less than an hour. It's a really ideal location. When I was in Quartzsite, a big thing is off-grid, and a big thing is people wanting to live off-grid, and we've got down off-grid. We can set you up with completely ready to go with the solar for electric, your compost for sewer, and in gray water here, and that's the big issue, is you've got your showers and your sinks. We're gonna use that right here for your vegetation. And I'm telling you, this right here to me is, I get excited because there was alfalfa here, there's water under the ground. We can turn this into an oasis. And I think palm trees and regular trees and things that we need to plant, and if we use the well water and we're able to take our gray water and water our trees and shrubs, this can turn into something really beautiful. Now, the land's not really that expensive. I don't have to put any kind of utilities in if we go off grid, no water, power, sewer, or anything. We'll anchor drill some wells here, so we've got access to water. That'll be you guys. Either you fill your own tanks, or we'll have a tanker that we could come around and fill the tanks. That's really probably preliminary things we don't have to worry about that much, because it can happen. The biggest thing is the hurdling of all the zoning and the codes and the land. So what I've found out is land here is not that expensive. And if we can just sweep this off, make these roads, the ground's always hard. It's not like it's mud back in Tennessee, so you can actually bulldoze a road pretty quick. So had a thought last night. It gets darn hot here in the summer. And like Scott was saying, 4 months out of the year, it's a little toasty, right? So what we're doing is we're looking at doing a project here and a project up in the mountains, probably elevation of 4,000 and up. And it may be in Kingman, it may be in Payson, it may be maybe up here in Nevada that you can take a road straight up here and get high up in the elevation where it's cooler in the summer. So either what we're gonna do is, I wanna do a, where you buy here or you invest in with us here, you're also investing in maybe something up high that you can actually relocate your home to a higher elevation. We'll be snowbirds and we'll follow the good weather, or you put a separate home up there and we're gonna make it financially feasible to go from one end to the other. That's where I'm going out here. If you're from California or if you're back east and you wanna live off grid, look at this sun. This is solar country. This is something you will not be without power, especially our solar project that we put on our homes. People were looking at our 5K, 3K inverter and 4 panels on the top is 1,400 watts. They were saying for $7,500, we were half or a third of what anybody in the country was selling theirs for. I'm gonna come up with a plan. We're gonna offer any one of our models, especially our credit boxes, to be parked out here. And depending on how big of a tract of land that we can acquire here, it's really up to you guys and how much interest we have in this. So if you're thinking about wanting to be off grid, if you're thinking about retiring, this is $200 a month, that's it, done. And you're gonna be able to live off grid. And we're gonna purchase this land, we're gonna develop it, we're gonna put some greenery and trees and water, and we're gonna make this work. So this video is to let you know this is happening. I need to know how interested you are, because you know how I do things. I stand out here and I say, if you guys want me to do this, let's do it, and I'll make it happen. And we'll put a community out here. We did that for the forest, the beach, the prairie, and the grove, and the mountain, which is 5 communities back in Tennessee. There's no reason why we can't do this nationwide. I've been wanting to do this forever, ever since I started this, and I always thought that concept, if it worked, we could take it nationwide. This is the second step of trying to make this thing happen, all right? So this video is to form you all, ask you a question. Are you ready for this? Are you interested in this? To be off-grid with us on this development, and I'll show you the next piece of property that maybe go from here to a higher elevation. And I've already talked to 2 other different realtors in them areas that will be able to show us what we're looking at. So it's the ability to buy land and develop it without putting utilities in is the key to keeping everything cost effective for you guys, all right, and for us in developing. We don't have to get into millions of dollars like we do back home on the mountain. We don't have to put sewers in. We got compost, and this is gonna be really nice. It's gonna be thought out. We're gonna have compost bins and places just for composting. So it's sanitary, and so it's been able to use on our gardens. This right here is able to, if we have water on a situation, I know it looks bone dry, but look at those mountains. This is not a gorgeous place. It's just so different than Tennessee, and it's got such a beauty. And especially if we can trade this summer location into a winter location and back and forth. Either you pick your house up, because we're mobile, right? We got tiny homes. That's the beauty of it. And go to our summer home and then back to our winter location. I think that's gonna be amazing. So I just need you guys let me know if you're interested in this, and I'll make it happen. Just like we did back home. We've got over 350 home sites back home, and we're still building more. This right here can happen overnight. This can happen this year right now, within months of making this happen. So what I need is how many people are interested in this. I'll get the cost. It's gonna be just like we did back home. You buy your house, we'll add whatever infrastructure costs on top of that house, and we make it happen, all right? So there you have it. That's been going on in my head out here, and thanks to Scott, who lives locally, he's able to show me around and take me places. We're actually gonna look at more land. I'm serious about this. This is not playing around. This is not just a video to say, look how pretty it is. I gotta make things happen constantly to make our company grow, and we gotta keep building homes. And the biggest things that we're talking about are financing and a place to put your home. If you're off grid, and I'm finding a lot of people love this off grid and they wanna live off grid, we can do that right here. And it's hard to do back home because the sun is not as good here. As you guys can see, the sun is perfect here for off grid. This is off grid solar country right here. And we were talking to the lady in the government building, and she said, actually, Scott said, she said, this is the wild, wild west. This is awesome, everybody. So I'm glad I've came this far. I'm glad. I don't know why all this is lined up the way it is. It seems like a unique place to be right now in the time that we're living, with the interest rates, with the government, with the fear of all these things. And I'm not sure that everybody feels that way. If anything, it's a neat time to be independent. We all know our light bills are going up. We all know that we need community and we need each other. And this part of the country allows us to come together and help each other, but still have our privacy and not rely on the utility grids that we have to back home. All right. So, all right, I'm going to stop here. I'll be bringing another video, but I'm really serious. If you are, please email us at info@incredibletinyhomes.com and say, I'm interested in the Nevada property. I would love to be off grid on a community. I'm going to need probably a minimum of 100 people that are going to want to live here on this property to make this thing work for us. We've got local connections of how to get this all done. So it can happen. Probably I could expedite this pretty quickly. All right, everybody. So an info@incredibletinyhomes.com. Say I love or I want to be a part of the Nevada off-grid property. And we'll start calculating this up and see what we got. And then when it comes right down to the bare thing, we'll say, hey, this is what we can build. This is how much it's going to cost. And if you're needing some financing, let us know that. We don't know. I know everybody would love to have financing, and I don't want to get off on that part right now, but the financing part of Liberty is really not all that great, because we ended up finding out that there's a $5,000 fee just to use their financing, and they don't the people working there know it's adherent to getting a loan, and I hate that part. And we're going to see what we can do to maybe help you finance as a company. I don't have money to give you for financing, but if we cover our costs and our building costs and what we can do, I don't care to help you some way of bridging that till you have enough money, or we can do loan or payments and stuff, right? All that's in the works. My biggest dream is I want to keep building. I want to keep our company rolling, and we have to build like this. The country's moving. Everything's moving, and if you don't move, you're going to get lost. And as you guys know, I don't sit around. I'll make things happen. And this is probably more feasible and rock solid of a plan than what I did back home, because of the infrastructure costs are so low, the land is available, and it's not that expensive here. All right, everybody. Thank you. Scott's holding this phone for me. I appreciate him doing this, and we'll be getting back. Yeah, broadcast this, get back with us. Okay, info@incredibletinyhomes.com. Thanks, everybody.